2012 Jeep Grand Cherokee, the dreaded 3.6 Penstar tick. Pretty sure it's a cam follower. We're going to change on that today. Welcome to Chrisman Garage. All right. Y'all hear that? The 3.6 liter VVT variable valve timing Penstar tick. We're going to be changing on it. That's your noise. It's coming from over here. Nice little ticking. Hope y'all can hear that. All right, here we are. We're about to dive into this thing. This will be the first one of these that I've ever done. I've done a fair amount of research on these. Got the kit here to hold the cam phasers in place. Right, left. Now, one thing I want to establish when you're talking about right and left, some people say, "Well, this is the right, this is the left." Nah, you always label an engine like you're sitting in the driver's seat. And if I was sitting in the driver's seat, that would be the right, this would be the left. Just keep that in mind, fellas. Okay. Now, I know that some of the aggravating stuff is going to be the PCV valve on the back. That's going to be a little tricky. Getting this ratchet mechanism released on the tensioner over here and getting these wedges down in there to take the slack out of the chain, or to put the slack in the chain, so to speak, and getting all that straight. But we're going to work through this together, fellas, and I'm going to let y'all know what I think about the job and how bad it is. So here goes nothing. All right, first and foremost, this thing's got to come off. I think it's just going to pop off. There you go. There you have it. We're going to pop this off, set it over here to the side. Now we got to remove this upper intake, and it shouldn't be too bad. I'll remove some of these harnesses. I might remove this air duct, get it out of the way, so we ain't got to work around all that, because we got to pull these things off. It's just going to be so much easier. So first thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to pull this air duct off. There you go. It's got a little button there. 5/16, 5/16, or 8mm, whichever suits your fancy. All right. We're already getting where we can see something. How about that? Next thing I want to do is take that upper intake off. Looks like there's some 10mm down there. Looks like these are probably 8s. Yep, they are. What was that? It just broke loose. Uh-huh. Okay. Upper intake off. There's a 10mm here, 10mm here, 10mm here, and here. And you got to get them loose. And then all these 8s to pop that loose. And she's a little tricky to get out of there. They say the PCV valve is tough to get off. They say it's T25 or something or other. No. But We'll worry about that in a minute. We're going to go on and do this side over here first. Make sure that we can do it. I'll take these coil packs out. There's been somebody been in this thing before. I found a bunch of bolts missing and out. Matter of fact, let me cover that intake up. Before I drop something down in there. Story of my life. You say you're supposed to number these things, so we're going to go on and number them. All right, we're going to unhook these after we labeled them all, these cam phasers. Push all this stuff out of the way. Cam position sensor out. It's not T25. It must be a T30. Yep, it's a T30. So let's take this out. Okay. I think it's going to be pretty straightforward on the valve cover. Let's start with these aggravating ones back here in the back. I was supposed to take them cam phasers off first. I need to go back and do that. I'm going to. Let's take these off. I've labeled these because they need to go back in the same place. They say don't set these in magnetic trays either because it'll mess them up. So I'm just going to set them over to the side. I'm not going to put them in the magnetic tray. I'll put the bolts in the magnetic tray. Pretty cool. You see that little valve, little pin there. We'll set these over here out of the way. We're going to do one side up. That gasket came with that one. All right. Normally you can there we go. Here she comes. Okay. Set this right over here out of the way. Well, let's take a gander down in here. All right, once you get in here like this, fellers, we got to rotate this thing until these arrows line up. You see they're labeled intake, exhaust. It's got arrows and all kind of stuff in here. I believe that's like 1 1/16 inch down there. We'll rotate this thing. Till these arrows line up. We've got a good little ways to go, so I'll get back with y'all in just a second. All right, you see these two arrows coming in? I hope y'all can see this. There's an arrow here and an arrow here. And we've spun the motor over until they line up. Actually, it's put these grooves pretty much in the top too. My glove, fellers, has gone to the bad. This is the left side. Letters go up. And we should be able to wedge her on in there. So let me back this up so I can see what I'm doing. And that's it. It's going in there. All right, now that we got that in there, she's locked down. All right, we're going to break these loose. I think they're like 100 and some odd foot-pounds of torque. There we go. We got to shine the light down in here. Got the hook. There you go. Now, in essence, what we did was release this, and this is wedged down there now, and now look at the slack that we got. See that, fellers? Got a lot of slack. Now, all right, I want you to see what I'm going to do here. I'm clean it off good with some brake clean. And also, we're going to have to rotate this cam back a little bit, so I want to do marking. The reason we're doing this is because when we do this cam loose here, we've got to rotate it back once we get it off of this cam phaser. So you'll see what I'm talking about here in just a second. So we're going to go on and take these off. Yep. We're just going to do one at a time. Okay, there's that bolt. We're going to lay it over here out of the way. No, they're T30s. We're going to break all these loose. These are labeled. They're labeled 1 intake, 2 intake, 3 intake, 4 intake, and they all got arrows pointing forward. So you can't really put them in the wrong place. What we're going to do is you rotate that till it gets free, and it's pretty much free. we done took the camshaft out of this rascal. All right, now that we've got the camshaft out, the cam followers and all that should be able to just pull them right on out. These little things. Okay, that one's not giving noise. Things are cute, ain't they? Look at them little things. There it is. Whoo-wee, that's the bad one. Right there. Look, she's completely gone to the bad. All right, well, we're putting new lifters in it too. He's a cute little thing. Look at them little things. Little cute little lifter. Okay. Just like a 2300, just about. That it? 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. That's it. And the bad one was on the intake for sure. That is crazy. It's completely offset. It wore on the cam a little bit, but I think the cam's going to be okay. It just wore on either side of the cam. There you have it. I'm not going to show y'all all the rest of this cam because this one's going to be the same way the other one is. You just pop them all off. When I get over to the other side, I'll show you how that tool works on the other side, but I'm not going to bore y'all with all the different steps on this. I'll let y'all know when we go back together. Well, what I've done here is I got this little container. It was actually my old fiber supplement Metamucil container there. I took half of them, 12 lifters, 12 cam followers, and I put them in. This motor recommends 530. This is some 530. And I'm stirring them around in here, letting them soak good for a little while. It's like making a drivetrain casserole, y'all. You just mix it right on up. That's just good for, when I first put them in there, you seen a few bubbles coming up. There's still a few bubbles coming up. Look at them. Boop, 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 boop. She likes that. So just give her a good stir. Let her sit there, I don't know, 3 or 7 minutes, you know, something like that. And then we're going to go back together with it. All right, this is the camshaft that come off of it. As you can see, where that cam follower broke and went down, it wore on either side of this. And what I did was I went through and I mic'd all of my cam lobes, and they're making about 1 inch and 460 thousandths. See right there? Actually, that one's 59. That's a good one. See this one back here? Yep, she's 59, 459, 459, 460. And then I wanted to mic this one down here. It's so wore. And 59. So even though it's wore on the sides, the center of it's good. I think this camshaft's gonna be good. I think these camshafts are pretty pricey. They're probably $200-300 a piece. So I think we're gonna get away with reusing this one, and hopefully that's it's gonna cure the problem. So we're gonna go back together with it. All right, we got them soaking here. I'm gonna pick the lifters out, drop them down in here. Boop. 1, 2, 3. These are mailing, by the way. 4, 5, and 6. And the cam follower is pretty self-explanatory. They got a dimple on one side. It goes on the lifter, and then the little slot goes on the valve, just like that. So we're sticking them right on there. And these are mailing too. Some people say you can get them a lot cheaper from Amazon, but I was scared to go with Amazon. These came from my local O'Reilly's. Thank you, O'Reilly's. Love you guys down there. And gals. All right. We got some good employees at O'Reilly's, I tell you. They need to give the O'Reilly's in Nashville, North Carolina, give all them people a raise. They all need a raise. Good guys. Brandon and Dusty and Violet and the other Brandon and Chris and all them guys down there. And ladies are good. They know what they're doing. They help me out a lot. Appreciate y'all. All right. Now, it never hurts to put a little bit of assembly lube on the camshaft when you're going back in, and that's what we're going to do. Make sure she's make sure she's good and lubricated up here. We're going to try to set her back in like she came out. Just about like that. Remember, these are labeled. See the arrow? 1 eye means 1 intake to the front. So I'm going to put these right back up there. Same order they come off. That one's 2I. Exhaust is going to be E. Got the arrow pointing forward. Unless you just completely don't pay attention, can't really mess these up a whole lot. Pretty slick how they got it labeled. I'm impressed. Good job, Mopar. And number 4, I. All right. I'm going to tighten these down, and I'll show you how we hook that back up. More like it. Now we're going to rotate this cam back where these dots line up. Push this back on. just like so. Put this nut back in. Just like so. All right, after we get all the lifters and cam followers replaced, we torque these back down to 89 inch-pounds and tighten these down. Your cam phasers, tighten them down. They're 118 foot-pounds. But we're going to go on and put this side back together. And the other side's going to be pretty much the same way. I'll show y'all how the tensioner works on that side. It's a little bit different than this side. So I'm going to put this side back together and I'll get back with y'all. We got the valve cover off this side, which is the right side. And this side over here, see if y'all can see that, it's got dashes. It's got arrows too, but the arrows are pointing out. These are lined up with the dashes, okay? And that puts these notches up top, just like that. Now we're going to try to squeeze this in here, right up. Look at that, perfect. That allows us to break these loose. So we'll break that one loose. Break that one loose. All right, once you got those broke loose, now we want to get to see how tight that chain is. Now this is the tool right here, fellas. This is the one that worked for this particular year model. This is a 12. I'm not sure what the different ones, but this is the one that works. There's a 13 millimeter bolt back here that this groove slides on. All right, you can see we got the pressure off of that chain. So with that being in there, we're going to go on and take this cam phaser off. I want to take this out. And it's just like the other side. We're going to change this side, and I'll let y'all know if this thing clears up this ticking or not once we get this back together. Well, there you have it. She wasn't that bad. If I hadn't had them tools, that'd have been a job for sure. But she's just making the normal engine sounds now. Pretty quiet, actually. So, y'all remember, until next time, you guessed it. If she's giving trouble, she's going to the bad.